Hello everybody, welcome to this playthrough for Expert Division with the tournament win for the Ryder Cup Tournament and the White Cliff course. The video is sponsored by Golf Clash and Playdemic, and before we start, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Also visit golfclashtommy.com for more Golf Clash related content for free. Last but not least, get the best guides on the market, the ultimate tournament guides, by going to patreon.com/golfclashtommy, linked directly in the description down below. Can we get this video up to 300 thumbs up? That would be absolutely amazing. I would be very thankful. Follow the info box on the right hand side to get the elevation and club distance adjustment combined with what ball and club I do suggest you to play with. Have in mind, you don't have to follow the suggestions that I give you, but there is always a plan behind it. But enough talk about that. For hole number 1, we are going to play with the driver that gives us the most tops, not topspin, but the most power and curl, because we need curl here, and that's why I'm playing with Apocalypse. Disregard Apocalypse level 8, I'm using 6 bars of topspin and 3 bars of side spin to the right, which could be the same as Apocalypse level 5, level 6, level 4, level 3 in terms of spin. Obviously, you're gonna have to go with a little bit more overpower with Apoc 3 and Apoc 4, as you do not have 240 yards. But with Apocalypse level 5 plus, you're going to play with 3 rings of overpower. The plan is to get the ball down somewhere between 390 to 395 yards. So for the second shot, I'm going to play a rough bump with the runner, and the reason I'm going to play this type of shot is to take away the second bounce wind effect, because we're going to go directly to the ground and have the ball roll. Max topspin with the runner, and we're going to have the ball guideline going approximately half a green square to a green square through the hole. When it comes to 395, I do play this one 42% slider, and in the end it's going to drop but a little bit right side of the cup. It is a very good shot here with the runner, something that I do hope you will follow through with, because in the end, with a crosswind especially, taking away the effect of the second, like between the first and second bounce, is going to be super duper helpful. Boom! So for hole number 2, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to play half a bar of topspin, 1 left spin. I would, however, though, recommend to go with 1 bar of topspin and 1 bar of left spin instead. And the reason for that is that we don't want to fall short like I'm doing here in the video. Adjustment is going to be maximum distance based on we are with the red ring by the rough line, ball guideline pointing towards the hole. I'm adjusting for a 55... ridiculous. 55% over adjustments. I'm adjusting 14.1 rings for an 8.9 miles per hour. But you will see here now that I will first and foremost go short, and that's why we talked about the topspin. But even if I would be having 1 bar topspin, this ball would still miss a little bit left. So go with a maximum distance with a 60% over adjustment to make sure you do have the direction correct. And don't forget to add that 1 bar topspin to get it there. And the reason I don't have a number in the info box is because I have never played a shot with 60% elevation, and therefore I don't really have a number for it yet. For hole number 3, we're going to play aggressive, and here we're going to use a power 5 ball, which is also called a berserker ball. The berserker ball you can win for free in the golden shots. If you haven't taken your free shot yet, you can do that before you're playing the tournament, because it's still open for those that haven't played their shot. Max topspin, and here it's important to have at least 6 bars. If you don't have 6 bars, I would honestly recommend you to maybe just lay up instead, but you could go for it, but you do risk going into the rough on the sand on the right hand side. You will still reach, but you know the albatross attempt is gonna go away. Max top spin, and I'm having a half a bar of side spin to the right. Adjust, it's max plus 10. Then once I've done that, I push up to max, and then we're gonna go with full blast overpower. The plan is to bounce on the fairway over the rough, which we are almost making it, but we needed to remove that little side spin to the right there, or be a little bit lucky to get it up the fairway. The further up we get, the better the approach is going to be for the second shot. And if we get it higher up, we're most likely going to be in max distance short iron, or it's going to be a minimum distance long iron. And here we are in a medium distance position here for our grizzly. And here a good ball guideline is definitely beneficial. Leave the ball guideline short. This because we do have a tailwind, and the bounce there from the fairway, from the first to the second bounce, is going to be pretty massively affected by the wind. Adjustment, medium distance plus 10. Unfortunately, I do adjust a little bit too little here for this shot. I'm going to see me missing to the left, but you can also see how hot this ball will come in. So once again, leave the ball guideline short of pin, so you're not going to have a struggle with speed. It's one thing having it with the direction, but honestly, you do want to have the ball stop a little bit sooner than we had there. Good. For hole number 4, we're going to once again play a tough par 3 here. 1 backspin, 3 bars of side spin to the right. We're looking for the second bounce to be basically in the middle of the bunker in terms of height. So if you look for the bottom part of the bunker to the highest part of the bunker, if we're looking at the left side of it, in between there, or like in the middle there, is where we want it to be. Approximately 2 rings from the bunker as well. It's very difficult to get the correct landing position here, especially because we cannot zoom in more than what I'm doing here. This is absolutely the maximum I can zoom in. Maximum distance plus 30, and then we are looking to hit perfect. If we do hit a bad great right, you will most likely see your ball bouncing directly into the sand, and that's the risk we have to take. Otherwise, we're going to have to play too much to the left, and then we will always miss the pin to the left hand side. A little bit too little adjustment, or that we're going to have to say that we could have gone with an 1159 pull angle instead. That would have pulled us more to the left, and that could be beneficial for this shot. So either you add a little bit more, or you use a different pull angle. For hole number 5, we need to start by using the driver with the most power and topspin possible. For me, it's Apocalypse level 5, but you can do as equally well with a Thor's Hammer or an Extra Mile. We're looking to add topspin first, 6 bars, and then we have 3 bars of side spin to the left. Ball guideline should be pointing straight down the middle, at least that's what we're aiming for. Maximum distance, no elevation whatsoever here, and obviously as our shot, we do attempt to hit perfect. Great left and great right will still be safe, so don't be alarmed about that. Obviously perfect, we will get a little bit closer to the rough line on the right than what we do get with a great left. Yardage doesn't really matter here, as our only plan here is to get the ball to the green area and secure the eagle. As we do not have a possibility to drive over the water as a start, we cannot, or like should not is the better way to phrase it, go for the pin. Because the pin stands so close to the rough line on the left there that if we push it too hard, we will get stuck in the rough a lot. So I'm using the wood club with the most power and topspin. So if it is a cataclysm for me, it might be a big dog for you. It could be a cataclysm as well. You need to check your stats to see which one do have the most power combined with topspin together. The plan here is to get the ball up to the green area, to take the eagle and be done with it. This is no albatross hole by any means, and the only goal here should be to not make mistakes. So, you know, different mindset than what we normally have, where we are looking for drops. For hole number 6, I would really want you to play with the power 4 win 3 ball if you do have the possibility. And the reason for that is it's going to be such an amazing advantage for being able to go to the right instead of having to lay up on the left. If you do have more topspin than 6 bars, like a POC 6, 7 or 8, I could say that you could play with a power 3 ball instead, because then you have the topspin. But when it is here and using 6 bars, which I'm trying to display here to trying to give you an idea of having 6 bars of topspin, even though I play with Apocalypse level 8, then we do need a power 4 ball. 2 balls of curl outside the adjustment ring to the right. We go with the red ring by the rough line as a start, adjust max plus 20, and then we're gonna go full overpower together with the 6 bars of topspin, 2 bars of side spin to the right. Once again, if you do have more topspin, use more topspin, then you can either decrease the overpower if using a power 4 ball, or you can keep the overpower but use a power 3 ball instead. Second shot is gonna be minimum distance with a minus 20% under adjustment. We're playing this from massively uphill, and here you have a decision to make. If you're too close with your short iron, so you're gonna have to use a ton of backspin, which this is honestly on the edge here, then you could play with a wedge instead, or you go for a dunk. Otherwise, the thing that I like with this shot is that you can rest on the minimum distance line and then adjust the minimum distance minus 20, and if you're just using the correct spin, you're gonna see this ball drop basically every single time. This is one of the easier ones of the White Cliff, and that also means that we kind of need to drop it. Hole number 1 and hole number 6 is, in my opinion, key for the White Cliffs to get something to drop and compete for the gold. For hole number 7, we're gonna play one of the tougher par 3s to get some sort of consistency with that is in the whole game, in my opinion. So here I'm using a backspin shot using the rocket. We are in the end going to look for having 7 bars of backspin combined with 2 bars of side spin to the right. We're gonna make some changes to this one in the end, but first I'm just going to explain what I'm doing here in the video. Half of the blue ring in the bunker, half of the blue ring in the rough. That's our position with the rocket level 10. Medium distance with a 30% over adjustment is what I want you to play with, and as you can see, I use a Wind 5 power 1 ball, and I would recommend you to use a Wind 5 ball here because that will help you tremendously when it comes to you know, the wind effect for the second bounce. But look, you still see here that we do bounce. Speed wise it's okay though, but we come in too much to the right. We need to have the first bounce to go more like the first and the second bounce not kick that much right. So the thing that I would recommend you to do is to keep the 7 bars of backspin but reduce and play with 1 bar of side spin instead. Even though it will show that we will miss to the left, but that kick that we are getting there is going to help us tremendously, and I would really recommend you to use a wind ball if you can, if you're going to try to get the hole in one here. If you're looking to just secure a birdie, you can play basically with whatever ball here. Use the backspin as you then take away the rough and the sand from play. For hole number 8, we're going to take a little shortcut here. Instead of going to the right, we will position ourselves up to the top left. I'm using 4 bars topspin, 3 bars of side spin to the right, and then I'm looking at the plus 12 yard mark with having the top right of the red ring by the rough line. And you can see here that's the absolute perfect position. Adjustment is going to be maximum distance plus 10. Once that is done, we are going to go with half a ball of curl outside the adjustment ring to the right. Obviously the plan here now is to hit perfect, and the ball will then bounce on the fairway over to the other fairway and position itself very nicely up here on the fairway, and that will leave us with a long iron towards the pin instead of having to play with a wood club, which obviously will make this make the difficulty to get the eagle being decrease. Second shot, we do play with the B52 here, at least I do. Use the long iron with the best ball guidelines. So if you do have the B52 level 7 plus, use the B52. Otherwise, the Grizzly level 7 also does have 4.5 ball guideline, which is definitely something you can use as well. Medium distance, no elevation, I'm using 1.5 bar backspin with the ball guideline to the hole. And as already said, to just say it again, medium distance, no elevation for this shot. Time to take our shot here as well, and in the end though, I unfortunately hit great left. But looking at where the ball ends up, a perfect ball would have been in, if so, very close. And in the end, speed is nice, and this is with having to play with a long iron, it's going to be a very good chance making an eagle. For hole number 9, we're gonna play on the right side, and the reason we're gonna do that is because we have headwind. Playing with headwind on the left hand side is gonna make it very difficult for us to get it down the fairway enough distance so we can get to the pin for the rough bump. Here I'm looking to not go with any spin whatsoever here. I'm using the right side of the yellow ring to be, half of the red ring inside the rough to the right, starting at the +4 yard mark. For those playing with an extra mile level 8 instead of an Apocalypse 5, you start at the +8 yard mark. Apocalypse level 4 is going to start, if I'm not mistaken here now, at +10 yard mark due to the different power in stat. So we're getting it nicely down there, max +20 for the drive. Second shot is gonna be just a way to transport us to the green. Sure, we can push it here trying to get it in, but the 40% over adjustment that we will have to play here, or maybe even more, is going to make it very difficult for us to get it in the way that we want to. I'm adjusting this one max +40, but look how far this one ends up to the right. I do hit the spot that I'm aiming for, but the side spin does not really kick in, as the effect of the wind for the second, like after the first bounce to the second bounce, after the second bounce to the third bounce, is really just flattening the ball guideline out. And sure, I do have a very simple putt for an eagle, but we need to do a little bit better than that. So over adjust a little bit more, or in the end adjust with some curl to the left to compensate for the high elevation and wind. Thank you so much everybody for watching this playthrough for Expert Division and the White Cliff course and the tournament, the Ryder Cup in Golf Clash the game. The video is sponsored by Golf Clash and Playdemic. Make sure you get your ultimate tournament guides on patreon.com/golfclashtommy, link directly in the description down below. Thank you for watching and good luck in your Golf Clash game.